Picture a caveman. You're probably imagining someone with long, messy hair. Maybe it has leaves or dirt in it. Maybe it's even matted or dreadlocked. When they open their mouth to speak, their teeth are yellow and crooked. You might even be able to smell them.
He stinks.
This Hollywood stereotype is immediately recognizable, and is also wrong. But what did Stone Age people really look like, and how do we know? One place we can turn to for answers is their art. 25,000 years ago, Venus figurines like this were one of the most popular cultural memes. Their features are exaggerated and stylized, but some, like the Venus of Willendorf and the Lady of Brassempouy, have great attention paid to their hair. Or maybe they're wearing some kind of headdress. Either way, they're stylin'. This carved face from Dolny Vestanice, which has been called the world's oldest portrait, seems to have her hair pulled back into a tidy bun. It's clear that these people weren't the disheveled messes we see in movies. And it's weird that we would think that anyway, since humans aren't the only animals that groom themselves. And it's not just the hair that popular culture gets wrong. Clothing doesn't fossilize, but archaeologists can still find clues about what ancient people were wearing. For example, sewing needles were invented over 50,000 years ago and were used by Paleolithic peoples whom Hollywood still sometimes calls Cro-Magnons. These people weren't just draping ragged hides over their backs, they were wearing tailored clothes. If that doesn't impress you, then let's take a look at some Stone Age jewelry. This burial at Sungir is decked out in thousands of ivory beads. Another burial, known as the Young Prince, is adorned with a cap of shell beads that looks suspiciously similar to the Venus of Willendorf. In fact, the oldest known shell beads are over 70,000 years old. Our direct ancestors weren't the only ones with fashion sense. Based on cut marks that have been discovered on eagle bones, we know that our extinct cousins, the Neanderthals, were harvesting talons and feathers, probably to make jewelry. And check out this 30,000-year-old stone bracelet, which was probably made by another extinct cousin of ours, the Denisovans. But what about their teeth? After all, this is a time before fluoride and orthodontics, right? Actually, there's evidence that the Neanderthals cleaned their teeth with toothpicks. And this must have been a regular routine too, because they did it so often they wore small grooves into their teeth. Even without toothpaste, Stone Age diets set up prehistoric people for better dental health than we can usually expect today. When humans invented agriculture, our diets got sweeter and starchier, which led to higher rates of tooth decay. We also started relying on softer, processed foods, which require less chewing. This change in behavior affected the development of our jaws, leading to crowded, crooked teeth. If this trope is so wrong, then where did it come from? Partly we can thank early reconstructions, which depicted prehistoric people as half human and half ape. European scientists saw evolution as a progression towards biological and cultural perfection. And of course they believed that Western society was the pinnacle of human progress. Therefore, earlier forms of humans must have been imperfect, not completely human. Today we know that evolution doesn't work like this. It can't predict the future, and it can't work towards a final goal. Instead, every species has evolved to fit its environment and is still evolving along its own path. Early humans weren't half-baked versions of us. They were complete people in their own right. Even though archaeology has moved on from these outdated images, it's hard to shake our old biases. Remember those eagle talons? They were discovered in 1905, but the cut marks weren't identified until 2015. Everyone assumed Neanderthals couldn't make jewelry, so nobody thought to check. The way we depict prehistoric people in popular culture tells us a lot more about ourselves than it does about them. When we imagine our ancestors as dirty, primitive brutes, we're saying, we used to be like that, but we're better now. But Stone Age people were a lot more like us than we give them credit for. So the next time you see a stereotypical Hollywood caveman, you might want to ask yourself, why are we doing our ancestors so dirty?
Not just a pretty face.
Hollywood loves the Stone Age, but it has a lot of misconceptions about it. If you're interested in learning the truth behind other caveman tropes like this one, check out Screens of the Stone Age, the podcast where scientists review movies about prehistoric people.